Hello friends, welcome to kodEdge. In the previous video, we created the Jenkins pipeline. In this section, we will set up ArgoCD, which will automatically deploy the application. Once it detects the Docker image tag that has been updated in the values.yaml file in the GitHub repository, we will always add the image tag to the values.yaml file. So basically, values.yaml file is used by the Helm chart, which serves as a default configuration for the chart template. Basically, it defines the values that can be customized when deploying our application or service using the Helm. Don't worry, I will explain this in more detail during the demo. So once the tag is updated, ArgoCD will automatically do sync operation and it will deploy the application by creating the pods. ArgoCD will pull the Docker image from the Docker Hub using the updated image tag from the values.yaml file while launching the new pods, and the application will be ready for the use. So let's open the terminal and let's start the minikube. So command will be minikube start, and we will use Docker as a driver. So hyphen driver equal to Docker. So it will start the minikube, and in which you can deploy your application in the Kubernetes. So this will be your local Kubernetes environment, and in which we are going to deploy our application. Okay, so our minikube is started. Now next what we will do, we will install the ArgoCD. So let's open the official documentation of ArgoCD. And this is the official documentation of ArgoCD. So from here you can get the steps to install the ArgoCD. So let's run this command. So first command is to create the namespace with the ArgoCD. And let's execute this command. ArgoCD namespace is created. Now let's install this install.yaml file. So it is going to create necessary resources required for the ArgoCD. So all the resources are created. Now let's run the command kubectl get all hyphen in ArgoCD. Okay, you can see these are the resources get created. Now if you see, most of the resources are in the initialization or creation phase. So let's wait for 2-3 minutes. Now you can see all the pods are in the running state. So let's run the command kubectl get svc with namespace ArgoCD. Okay, so these are all the services required for the ArgoCD, and let's copy this service name, that is ArgoCD, and we will do port forwarding to open the UI. So command will be kubectl port hyphen forward svc slash service name hyphen n your namespace, so that will be ArgoCD, and let's use the port 8091, and currently if you see it is running on the port 443, and let's execute this command. Now let's open the UI for this. So URL will be localhost:8091. Okay, so this is asking for the password. So let's open the terminal again, and let's run one command kubectl get secret from this secret name, and we're just converting that into the base 64. So I got this command from the official documentation of the ArgoCD only. So let's execute this command. So this is the password for the ArgoCD. Don't include this percentage. Okay, so username will be admin and password will be this one. Let's sign in. Now next what we will do, we will create the Kubernetes manifest configuration for our application to deploy it into the Kubernetes cluster. Let me open the terminal, and I am already in the project directory. So we are going to create Kubernetes configuration using the Helm chart. So let's run the command Helm create and the directory name. So directory name I am giving as a k8 chart. Okay, so it has created the directory, that is k8 chart, and in this directory it has created the default configuration. So if you want to see the configuration, what you can do, you can run the command tree and the directory name, that is create chart. It will show you the directory structure. So these many files are getting created. Okay, so let me go into the IntelliJ, and if you see here, it has created this create chart, and these are the default configuration. So we can change this configuration as per our requirement. So let's open this values.yaml file, and here we will make the certain changes. So let's change the repository. So let's go into the Jenkins file, and if you see, we have given the repository name here. Let's use the same name. Okay, pull policy will be always. So pull policy always means it will always pull image from the Docker Hub. And let's use the tag latest, but later we are going to update it using the pipeline once we create the new image. Now next tag is image pull secret, and here we need to provide the secret for our Docker Hub to pull the image from the Docker Hub repository. So for that purpose, we need to create the secret. So let's remove this array and let's add the name. Let's give the name as a Docker Hub secret hyphen secret. Okay, so I will show you how to create this secret. For now, just give the name. We'll create the secret once we complete this values.yaml file. Now let's go to the service part. So here we are defining the service type. So let's use the service type as a node port. And let's use the port as a 8080. And let's add the name for our application. And I'm adding name as a exchange rate service. So this will be useful to check the health of our application. Now one more change we need to do. Let's go into the template section. Let's go into the deployment.yaml, and here let's comment this part, that is liveness prop and the readiness prop, as we are not using in our demonstration. Now let's go back into the values.yaml file, and here I said that we are going to generate the secret for the Docker Hub. So let me open the scratch file, and we are going to create one command. So using this command, you can create the secret configuration for the Kubernetes. So what I'm doing here, kubectl create secret docker-registry docker hub-secret. So the same name we have given in the values.yaml file, correct? And here I'm providing some data like Docker username. So my username for the Docker Hub account is kodEdge. Then provide the password, then Docker email. So this is my email for the account. So namespace will be the app. So we are going to deploy our application into the app namespace. And here we are going to generate the configuration. So let me use the token for the Docker Hub. So this is our Docker Hub token. Just use it here. And let's run this command from the terminal. Okay, let's execute this command. So here you can see the configuration for the Docker Hub secret. And let's create a new file in the CD directory. So I am giving name as a Docker Hub -token .yaml. So we are not going to add this file into the GitHub repository because we are adding the secret in the token. So we will directly apply this file in the Kubernetes cluster using the command. Okay, so our secret file for the Docker Hub is created. Now we are going to create one more file for the GitHub token. So let's create a new file. So file name I'm giving as a github-token.yaml. So this file as well we are not going to add in the GitHub repository because this file also going to contain the secrets. So this will be the configuration for the GitHub token. So what I'm doing here, API version will be the v1, kind will be of the type secret, and metadata will be, so name I'm giving as a github-token. The namespace will be the ArgoCD because we are going to deploy this secret in the ArgoCD namespace. And why this secret is required? Because ArgoCD is going to detect the changes from the GitHub repository. So it will automatically sync with the GitHub repository, and whenever it finds some changes, it will automatically deploy the new version of the application based on the changes in the GitHub repository. For that purpose, it requires the GitHub access, to which we are providing this username and password of the GitHub repository. Okay, so this will be the label. Okay, secret type will be the repository. Then this type, secret type is opaque, and this is a string data in which we are providing the our repository URL. And this is the username for the account, and password will be, so we have already created the token. So let's copy this token and let's use it into the in the password section. Okay, so our secret for the GitHub token is also created. Now next, what we are going to do, we are going to create the application.yaml file to create the setup of our application into the ArgoCD. So let's create a new file in the CD folder, and name I am giving as a application.yaml file. And this file we are going to add in the GitHub. So this will be the configuration for our ArgoCD application. So what we are doing here, so this will be the API version, kind will be the application, and this will be the metadata. So what I am defining here, name of our application, so that will be the exchange-app. Namespace will be the ArgoCD, and this will be the finalizer. So what is this finalizers? This provides the mechanism to control the deletion process of resources. So here we are using the resource finalizer as this one. So what it will do, before deletion of our application, it will remove all the related resource of our application. Then it will delete the application. The next section is label. So we are giving the name as a exchange-app. The next tag is specification. So project will be the default one, and here we are defining the source. So source will be from where we want to fetch the repository or code. So first will be the repo URL. So this will be our GitHub repository URL. Target revision will be the branch name. So we are using the main branch, and path will be in which you have provided the Helm charts. So we have provided the Helm chart in the create chart directory. So I'm giving the create chart directory name here. And what will be the destination? So destination is where you want to deploy your application. So this is our server, that will be the local Kubernetes server. And namespace will be, so in which namespace you want to deploy your application. So we are going to deploy our application into the app namespace. So it will automatically create the app namespace if you have not created manually. Now last section is for the sync policy. So this options enables automated synchronization. That means ArgoCD will automatically synchronize the application when it detects the changes in the Git repository. And in the automated section, it has three options, that is prune, self-heal, and allow empty. So what is the meaning of this option? When we set this as a true, so ArgoCD will automatically delete the resources that are no longer defined in the Git repository when performing the sync operation. And what is the self-heal option? If we mark this option as a true, in that case, ArgoCD will automatically correct any changes that occurs between the actual state of the application in the cluster and the desired state defined in the Git repository. So let's say if someone manually modifies a resource, like a scaling of the deployment or editing any config map, ArgoCD will automatically reverse that changes during the next sync cycle. And last option is allow empty, which we are marking as a false. So what will happen if you mark this option as a false? ArgoCD will not sync if the Git repository is empty or does not contain any valid configuration for the application. And last option is sync option. So here what we are providing, create namespace equal to true. So what I said here, that we are providing namespace name, right? So app namespace is not created. In that case, it will create the namespace automatically because of this option. And last option is run last equal to true. So what is the meaning of this? This ensures all the resources are deleted in the correct order during the cleanup activity. So let's apply this configuration. First create the namespace. kubectl create namespace app. Now let's apply our secrets. So we have created two secrets. So command will be kubectl apply. Before that, let's cd into the CICD folder, and let's cd into the CD folder, and here you can find the all the files, right? Now let's run the command kubectl apply the GitHub token first. Okay, so secret is created. Let's apply the next secret. Command will be the same, kubectl apply and your secret file name, that is -f docker hub -token.yaml. Okay, so secret is created for the Docker Hub as well. Now let's apply the application.yaml file. So it will automatically deploy these configurations as well. So let's run the command kubectl apply -f application.yaml file. Okay, so application is created. So let's go into the ArgoCD UI. And you can see our application is created. Now let's go back into the IntelliJ and let's push this code into the GitHub repository. But before that, let's update our Jenkins file. And here what we will do, we will add one more stage to update the values.yaml file with the new image tag. So let's add the new stage. So this will be the stage for the update the image tag. So let's understand the code, what I am doing here. I am getting the image tag from the environment variable, that is commit hash. So this environment variable we have created in the previous stage, correct? When we deployed the Docker image in the Docker Hub, correct? So here we have created that environment variable. So we are using the same commit hash here. Okay. Then next what we are doing the git checkout on the main branch. Then next what I am doing, I am getting the values.yaml file from the create chat folder, and in this values.yaml file, go to this image tag. If you go here in the values.yaml file, so what I am doing here, I am going into this image tag and finding this tag. Okay, let's go back to the Jenkins file, and I am just updating that tag with the image tag, correct? And this image tag is coming from here. Then next what I am doing, we need to commit these changes and push it into the GitHub repository. So for that purpose, I am getting the git username password from the git credential ID. Now if you remember this, we have added this git credential ID here in the environment variable, and we have added this ID into the Jenkins server, okay, in the credential section. So using that, it will get the access to the GitHub repository. Now let's understand the next statement. So what I'm doing here, I'm just configuring the user email and the name. So here you can provide any email and username as per your requirement. Okay. So here I'm providing the email, and here I'm providing the user name. Next, I'm adding this values.yaml file into the git. Okay. So command will be git add and your values.yaml path. Next, I'm committing this file, and last I'm just pushing these changes into the main branch. So let's commit these changes into the GitHub repository. Okay, let's go back into the Jenkins pipeline and let's build the pipeline. Okay, so our pipeline is successful, and our new stage, that is update image tag, is also successful. Now let's go back into the IntelliJ and let's check the values.yaml file. So currently image tag is latest. So let me take up a new pull. Okay, you can see tag is updated. Okay, now if you go into the GitHub and let's go into the commits. So you can see update image tag to this version by this kodEdge -board CI. This is the same name we have given in the deployment configuration, or you can say Jenkins configurations. Correct? This is the name we have given for the GitHub user. Now let's go into the ArgoCD UI. So basically it will take almost 3 minutes by default to sync with the new changes. Now let's click on the application, and you can see it is creating the resources, and we can see there is some issue with the creation of pod. Let's go back into the IntelliJ and let's check the configuration. And what I notice is in the service.yaml file, if you check in the values.yaml file, we have added the service name in the service section. Okay, and we are not using this tag. So let's go back into the service.yaml file and let's add that tag. Okay, so tag will be values.service.name. Correct? In the values.yaml file, service.name. That will be service.name like this. Let me push these changes. And let's run the Jenkins pipeline again. Okay, so our pipeline is successful. So let's go back into the ArgoCD and let's click on the application. So in your case, if it is not sync, click on the sync app. So let's go into the application and you can see all the resources are created successfully. Let's click on the pod and let's click on the logs. So here you can see our application started successfully. Now let's go back into the terminal and let's run the command kubectl get service -n app. So this is our application service. Let's run the command kubectl port-forward, then service name, that will be extended service -n namespace name, that is app, and let's use the port 8092 colon 8080. Okay, now let's run the URL for our application. So URL will be localhost colon 8092/latest/USD. So you can see we are getting a response from the application. Now let's do one thing. We will push some changes in the GitHub repository and let's see if it is getting automatically sync or not. So let's go back into the IntelliJ. Let's add some space here. So just I'm doing dummy commit. And let's build the pipeline. Okay, so our pipeline is successful and it has successfully updated the image tag into the values.yaml file. Now let's go back into the ArgoCD. Ideally, after 3 minutes, it will automatically resync with the GitHub repository and it will automatically start the redeployment. So as you can see here, it has started the redeployment. Okay, so this is how we have successfully completed the CICD setup on the Kubernetes and the Docker environment. So that's it for this lecture. Thanks for watching the video.